Hi, I'm Scarney, and I'm filming my speech, At Least It's Not Cancer, in front of my live audience.
Can't get you.
Thank you. The first time I was told At Least It's Not Cancer, I was lying in a hospital bed in the intensive care unit at our local hospital, reeling from the diagnosis that left me there in the first place. The nursing student that was taking my vitals said the words as casually and as with as much empathy as if she asked me if I wanted fries with that. It was as if this future nurse had no conception of just how much my life was changing with those 5 little words just a few moments before. I knew that it meant a lifestyle change and shots every day for the rest of my life. I knew that it meant constant monitoring of my blood sugar with finger pricks and endless doctor's appointments. I knew that it meant specialists and expensive tests. Yes, I knew that it wasn't cancer. It was type 1 diabetes. Shortly after my diagnosis, I quickly became an expert at counting carbohydrates, monitoring blood glucose levels, and poking myself with a horrid-looking needle upwards of 10 times a day. These are just a few of the things that a diabetic has to worry about on a daily basis. The majority of the people in this country will never know what it's like to be terrified for your life on a daily basis. They will never know how it feels to carry a diaper bag of diabetic supplies everywhere you go. They will never know the feeling of being sick with no physical symptoms. They will never understand the internal struggle it is to remain healthy but still lead a normal life. They will never know the strength that it takes to do these things every single day. Diabetics are judged everywhere they turn. This is due in part to an ignorance of the general population on what diabetes really is. Diabetes is simply a generic term used to describe anyone with sugar problems. The fact is that there are different types of diabetes, and I don't mean the bad kind and the not so bad kind. There's type 1 diabetes, type 2, and gestational diabetes. All the forms of diabetes rely on the use of insulin to maintain a healthy life. This insulin can be produced from one's own body, or it may be externally delivered via a shot or an insulin pump. Insulin is a hormone that the pancreas produces to take excess sugar in the body and turn it into energy. When this hormone is not being produced or used correctly, it causes a buildup of sugar in the blood and the urine. Quickly and eventually, this buildup will turn into toxic and potentially deadly in the form of diabetic ketoacidosis. The World Health Organization puts out a report of statistics each year relating to diabetes. To give you an idea of just how dangerous and real this disease is, listen closely to the following. There are 25.8 million adults and children fighting the same battle every day. There are roughly 86,000 amputations every year from complications of diabetes. 70% of diabetics have nerve damage, no matter how controlled you are. It's expected that there will be a 50% rise in deaths stemming directly from diabetes within the next 10 years. Currently, someone around the world dies every 10 seconds from diabetes complications. Diabetes is the leading cause of blindness in the United States. And finally, diabetics spend $200 billion annually on medical supplies and care. Previously termed juvenile diabetes, insulin-dependent diabetics have to rely on external sources for their insulin. Their bodies simply don't produce this hormone anymore. There's no specific cause as to why a person develops diabetes. Many believe that it is in part genetic. However, this cannot be proven exponentially. Take me, for example. I lived for 21 years with no issues. There's little history of diabetes in my family, and there was no major trauma to my pancreas. One day it worked, the next day I was in ICU fighting for my life. Type 1 diabetics introduce insulin into their bodies with a shot or the insulin pump. If you're taking shots, you will take 2 separate forms of insulin. You will take a long-acting insulin in a single dosage once a day that allows your blood sugar levels to remain even through the course of 24 hours. The rapid-acting insulin is taken whenever you eat or have an abnormally high blood sugar, and you need to correct. The long-acting insulin is taken in the same dosage once a day, but the rapid insulin is given on what's called a sliding scale. There's a math formula given based on each individual diabetic, which they have to calculate approximately 15 minutes prior to eating. I guess my high school math teacher was right. I do use algebra every day. The insulin is used to combat the carbohydrates ingested during the meal. Carbohydrates are made of sugars and starches. As previously mentioned, these carbohydrates turn to energy in a non-diabetic, but can turn toxic in someone who is diabetic. One miscalculation, either too much or not enough insulin, and I could be back in the ICU within an hour of eating. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. There's no remission, no sure death. There's simply a limbo of math and medicine and a little bit of prayer. But hey, at least it's not cancer. My fight to stay healthy is a daily battle. I long for the days when I could simply just eat a piece of cheesecake and enjoy it. Now, eating a slice requires me to plan and do math. I have to check my blood sugar and figure out exactly how many carbs are in this one little slice of cheesecake. I have to formulate the amount of insulin I need, take it, wait 15 minutes, then I get to eat my prize. But I'm not done. I have to wait an additional 30 minutes, check my sugar again. I wait another 30 minutes after that, and make sure I didn't overcorrect with my insulin. If my blood sugar is high, I have to wait another 30 minutes and check and deliver a second dose of insulin to correct. Then I check 1 hour after that just to make sure everything is fine and dandy. All for just one slice of cheesecake. This is the procedure for every meal, every snack. There are no more spontaneous treats for me. But I'm not alone in this battle. The fear that lies in every person touched by diabetes is real. Mothers lie awake at night scared to sleep in the event that their child's blood sugar drops, resulting in hospitalization at best and death at worst. Thousands of diabetics wake up each morning surrounded by candy wrappers and juice boxes that were used to treat a middle of the night low that they will never remember. Many diabetics have full or partial funeral arrangements, so our families will not have to go through the torture of planning an unexpected funeral. Thousands of dollars are spent out of pocket every year for the rest of our lives just so we can maintain. There is no cure for diabetes. There is no treatment that will stop the highs and lows indefinitely. There is no finality to this disease. It is and will forever be a part of each diabetic until the day they die. But hey, at least it's not cancer, right?